various speakers, so successful night.
Indeed it was. There were a lot of good speakers last night.
Well, Republican presidential nominee Governor Mitt Romney making a direct appeal to Americans and supported President Obama in the last election, asking them how many days they've woken up since the election day in 2008 and felt something really special was happening in America. Listen.
Many of you felt that way on Election Day 4 years ago. Hope and change had a powerful appeal. But tonight, I'd ask a simple question. If you felt that excitement when you voted for Barack Obama, shouldn't you feel that way now that he's President Obama? You know there's something wrong with the kind of job he's done as president when the best feeling you had was the day you voted for him. The president hasn't disappointed you because he wanted to. The president has disappointed America because he hasn't led America in the right direction. He took office without the basic qualification that most Americans have, and one that was essential to the task at hand. He had almost no experience working in a business.
Well, Justin Safey served as spokesperson for former Florida Governor Jeb Bush and is publisher of Safey Review. And Margie Omero is a Democratic pollster and president of Momentum Analysis. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'll begin with this basic question. Justin, I'll start with you. Last night, was it a success for Governor Romney?
Absolutely. I think it was a great success. I was there in the convention hall, and the folks in the hall were fired up. But even more importantly than the coalition of Republicans coming together and leaving that convention excited for Mitt Romney was that appeal that we just watched to swing voters in swing states like Florida, like Iowa, like New Mexico, like Colorado, like Nevada, like Ohio and Virginia, to telling those voters that voted for Barack Obama that it's okay now to move on and to vote for somebody else who can get the job done. So that direct appeal, I think, had a big impact with those independent, undecided voters in swing states.
And Margie, what do you think in terms of targeting those voters who perhaps chose President Obama in 2008? Do you think he did a successful job of changing their minds this time around?
Well, certainly the speech touched on some points that swing voters want to hear, and that's necessary, but it may not be sufficient. Ultimately, a swing speech is not going to change the fact that Mitt Romney doesn't have a lot of positions that appeal to swing voters. A lot of Paul Ryan's positions are very much far to the right, and a lot of comments and the ads that come from Romney's own campaign are very, very far to the right. When you have advisors saying Obama needs to learn to be an American, or he doesn't share Anglo-Saxon values, or let's cut food for hungry children, or a lot of really extreme policies, that's not where swing voters are. You're looking at all the war against women stuff, the Todd Aikens of the world, that the Mitt Romney campaign really has a hard time distancing themselves from, and those kinds of things do not appeal to swing voters no matter what he says in his speech.
Now, one of the topics that he touched on specifically, one of the issues at hand is Medicare. Let's take a listen to what Governor Romney had to say on that point, and I want your reaction to it.
$716 billion cut to Medicare to finance Obamacare will both hurt today's seniors and depress innovation and jobs in medicine. And his trillion-dollar deficits, they slow our economy, restrain employment, and cause wages to stall. To the majority of Americans who now believe that the future will not be better than the past, I can guarantee you this: if Barack Obama is reelected, you'll be right.
Here's something that is very clear. When you look at Paul Ryan's speech, when you look at Governor Romney's speech, Republicans not backing down from the Medicare issue, in fact, embracing it. Justin?
Look, this is believe it or not, Medicare is a winning issue for Republicans. And I say that from South Florida, where we have a number of senior citizens and elder voters who pay attention to this issue. Those elder voters in 2010, they gave 60 seats to Republicans in the House, and they gave 7 seats to the Republicans in the U.S. Senate. So older voters, the Romney campaign and Paul Ryan's speech, they're going on the offense, and the Democrats are playing defense on this issue. And my advice to Democrats is throw out that old Medicare playbook. It's not going to work anymore.
Margie, what's your advice right back to Republicans?
Well, polls show, there have been polls out this week that show that people favor the president. They give him an advantage on who would handle Medicare. And polls show that people oppose Ryan's plans for Medicare. And the savings that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan have been talking about, one, doesn't do anything to current benefits for Medicare beneficiaries. And two, it's in Ryan's own plan. And so that kind of double talk, politician double speak, is just what turns voters off of this whole process.
Well, let's take a look at this poll. This was the latest poll, actually two polls that came out over the weekend, showed mixed results for the President. Barack Obama reached an important mark, though, in both polls. You can see they were released Sunday night. His approval rating hit 50% in both of them. And listen to what Governor Romney has to say finally about our future and how Americans, he thinks, feel about it. Actually, we don't have any sound on that, but he did say, Governor Romney last night, that the majority of Americans now believe that the future will not be better than the past. And moving forward, as we leave this convention and go into the DNC, how do you think the DNC will handle that, Margie?
Well, I think we're going to talk about, you're going to see Democrats talk about who's got a vision for really helping the middle class. And, you know, we have the policies to back that up, while you have a lot of policies on the right that are really about gutting the safety net and gutting support for education, schools, food for the middle class. And I think that's one of the real distinctions to make. And who really is in touch and really can share the values of the middle class. That's something that Obama's had a double-digit lead over Romney on now for a long time.
Justin, 10 seconds. Your response.
Higher taxes, bigger government, and more regulation is not going to help the middle class, and more debt is not going to help the middle class. It will devastate the middle class.
And that debt clock, that was definitely telling at the convention all week. Thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it. Moving forward to the DNC next week.